increased risk of autism disorder. So they're not one-to-one, but there may be a slight risk amplified based on this particular deletion syndrome.
Now, also in these documents, they describe a specific incident. And again, this is from papers filed by Seth. On August 11th, 2016, I had told him that day that if he cleaned his room, he could go swimming. I asked him if his room was clean, and he replied that it wasn't. I told him he couldn't go swimming until it was clean. Sebastian reacted by flying into a rage, screaming and hitting himself, biting himself, and trying to throw himself on the floor. I reached out to catch him before his head hit the door frame.
Wow. How many people in my always so happy? She's gotten good at covering the bruises. Yes. I don't know how many of you. I want to go back there. I want to read this again. I want you to listen to I love it. And here's some questions, I think, in our statements. This is from Crystal Lynn. This says, in my opinion, they are both involved in this. And I think when Katie drove around looking for him, she dropped him off to CP's mother/father as they were going to Alaska, and then drove the whole way. Interesting perspective. Thank you for that. This is Betty.
Yeah, Betty, I just wanted to say that court document that you read, that was actually Seth that had said that had happened. And I just thought that was important to put that out there, that it wasn't Chris or anybody.
Actually,
that it was.
You're right. It was filed by him, but it was statements. If you read it, hold on, let me get it up on the screen. Actually, I'm on the wrong one. If you get it up on the screen.
No, he's actually spoke about it in an interview on another podcast.
I'm going to read the court document right to everyone.
Okay, I'm telling you, it was Seth that said that. So I just wanted you to know that, just so we were putting out all the right information. That's just it. It was Seth. Whether it happened or not, the law.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. So this is what the actual court document reads, whatever it says. I may have it wrong. I may have it right. I don't care. So we're going to read it verbatim from the court document, so we're all in the know. And this incident happened August 11th, 2016. It says at number 12, in her request for DVRO, Katie claims that on August 11th, 2016, I was angry at our son, speaking about Seth Rogers, and that our son told her I hit him. Hold on, we're going to go through this. I'm going to turn the phones off just real quick until we get through this. We're going to hear all of this first, and then we'll open it up for discussion, just so that we're all clear. I mean, that was the lady's request, is that we have all the information verbatim. So we're just going to read it right from here, and we'll make sure everybody's in the know. But I also want to tell that caller, she was also awfully snooty. So, there was no... And we also talked about us looking at the maps for both ways, both to Memphis as well as Clarksville. So I don't know. I'm unsure about that. Lulu's Nana. Oh, let me turn the phones back on so she can call back in, so she can give me another mouthful with her snooty attitude. How were the animals acting that night? Ellie should have looked at the... Oh, interesting, Lulu's Nana. This is bed. Oh, let me hold on. I gotta turn you over too, because there we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, my last point.
They could hide their physical abuse under these court documents, and this person's like, oh, well, it wasn't Katie, it was Seth. Who cares who it was? Doesn't make a difference.
It's everybody that knew.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Everybody who knew.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kids just don't disappear. Mm-mm. We ain't got no aliens coming down, picking up children and taking them away. Mm-mm. They done something with that kid. They're hiding that kid, and I got a feeling they're hiding it so he can get his little daughter. And the SA is not going to come out that they've been doing to that child.
Yeah, some people have brought that up. I mean, even my mods, we've been having those conversations.
And they're swingers, is what they say.
Where do we hear
They the
that?
swinging people.
This is a first
That's
for
what
me.
I've heard it on a podcast.
Oh.
But you put a kid in danger, and stuff is going to happen. And if a child gets SA'd, how do you know that guy ain't SAing that child all the time?
Yeah.
That's why he has to wear. That's why he has to wear his things.
You know what?
His daddy said
We talked about that too, Doug.
Yeah, when his daddy says when he with me, he don't have to.
Mm-mm.
So maybe he got wise enough, and he was. I'm gonna tell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell. You got to do something with him if he gonna talk.
Yeah.
That's just like little Summer. Maybe she got up to the age when she went to school, she'd end up telling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not
And
only
then-
that, but with Sebastian, you know, that just doesn't make any sense that Katie doesn't know anything. There is just no possibility in my mind. You know, at first I was fooled, like, you know, she passed the polygraph test. Let's look at her, eliminate her from this. But I don't believe it.
I believe this is my honest opinion. To take both of them, put them in jail, throw away the key, 24 hours a day. That is where you sit until you tell where the child's at.
Yeah.
And if you don't tell, you'll be there the rest of your damn life.
Yeah, I think
And
they
I
need to
believe
start
that
making
was-
some laws like that, where if you're missing your child and you can't tell law enforcement where they are, then you're sitting your ass in jail until they find them.
That's it. No, 24 hours a day. No going outside, no nothing. Get your meals served to you. No TV, give you the Bible, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else to read. And eventually you're going to tell where your child's at.
Right. Right.
I don't believe Candace can stay in jail for 2 years without cracking.
Oh no, because she's too. She needs her booze and her drugs.
Yep. But I just believe they need to make these parents accountable.
I appreciate it,
Kids
Doug.
just don't. All righty.
Love ya. Take
But
care. We'll talk to you soon.
Keep giving it. Thank you, bye.
I will. For those that missed it, if you wonder what we're talking about, some lady calls up here because I said something. It didn't really matter who did it, whether it was Katie or Seth or even Chris for that matter. It was the fact that we found out that in this court document that this kid has documented abuse, even though Katie and Chris said that he doesn't do that. But there's documented in this. And my question was, and it's specifically because I wrote it down because I knew what my topic of conversation was going to be on it. And it was basically documented injuries from disability. Could abuse be covered by his disability? Could they be covering up his abuse by saying he has a documented history of doing this to himself? That was the original question, you know. But this person decides to call up here and just to be as rude can be over the fact, oh well, Katie did this. Well, you don't want misinformation. But you don't mind listening to the channels that have a shit ton of misinformation about me. When do you call them and ask them to quit misinforming their public? Or is that just special for me, babe? Huh? That's what I thought. How did... Oops, I just hit the button. Hold on here. What does it say? How did they have a boat? But unfortunately, it was parked in the lot. Technically, they had yeah, they did. They had an airboat, or, you know, the big propeller boat is from my understanding of what they had out in the parking lot. And they had that out in the parking lot for like 2 or 3 days and didn't do anything with it. And then they're on Vinnie Politan saying they took all these boats out. And I'm thinking, where? We had like so many people in the area during that time, social media people, and I didn't see any of those boats in the water. I didn't see any boat searches at all. So I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, they could barely even get people out there walking, let alone in the water. So I don't know. This is Betty.
Yeah, this is the caller that you said was snotty. First of all, I wanted to tell you I really wasn't trying to be snotty. I just didn't want you to cut me off. And the only reason that I said it at all was because that you went on to talk about your abuse, which I hate to hear that. And you were saying that, you know, that people would lie. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make sure that people knew that that was Seth that said that happened. And I don't think that Seth abused him.
I don't think
I didn't
so.
say you said.
Yeah.
I didn't say that you said he did. But you did go on to say that, like you were saying, that seemed like you were leading to that you didn't believe that story, because in your abuse, that was the story that happened.
No.
And I thought that was important to just say that was Seth. Many of your people in your chat said, absolutely, yes, that was Seth. And then, of course, you have your people that, now are mad because I had a different opinion than you. But that's the way the world goes.
Welcome to, trust me, it's not about different opinions. About
You didn't welcome it. You
no,
didn't welcome
because
it,
you
though.
were being rude. Okay? So
No,
if you
I
don't want to be
wasn't being rude.
packed
I
up and go back
disagreed
to your
with you.
mommy crying, I would suggest you change your tune with me or don't call my fucking show. That's how I roll, babe.
Next time I
Have
won't
a
call,
good
but
day.
you were.
You have some balls, lady. Some freaking King Kong size balls. I will tell you that right now. We value other people's opinion. And as a matter of fact, we're behind the scenes day and night. I was up 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning with my team working this case. Okay, we're looking at every damn thing. Trust me, my whole entire team does not have the same opinion that I do, but we manage to work through it respectfully. You know why? Because we respect each other's opinions. We do it together. We don't be rude to people, and we don't have assholes call up here again and again to prove their point because they're too much of an idiot just to sit down and shut up. It doesn't matter.
This whole day, and this took place in one whole day, from the morning until it was time for me to go to bed, and time for Sebastian to go to bed. Sebastian had 2 things he needed to do: clean up his room and make his bed, and then I was going to take him swimming. Tit for tat. You do this, we'll go swimming. My son likes to go swimming, so let's make the bed, clean up your toys, get them all off the floor, and we can go swimming. Like 4 or 5 hours.
Hey, did you hear that? Yeah, hold on. He is not a deputy sheriff, I don't think. I think he's a correction officer. Is that right? Or he's a guard or something?
He just said deputy sheriff.
Hold on, my thing just cut out. What happened?
He straight up on this said deputy sheriff. I don't make that out here as a deputy sheriff. I thought he was a CO.
Well, if he's a deputy sheriff, he works at the jail. Deputies work at the jail, don't they? I mean,
Not in my county.
Bernie Fife used to always
the
be sitting in the jail watching people.
No, not in my county. Those are corrections officers and jailers. They work at the
No, but
jail. The deputies
not in
are
the
on
jail.
the
In
highway.
prison. In prison, they have correction officers, but in the jail, those are deputies that are in the actual county jail.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it would be easy to look it up.
Well,
Seth, what's his last name? Look up if he's a deputy. That'd be easy
Seth Rogers.
Seth, you know what I mean? It'd be easy to find.
I remember that one guy that was with him said that him and Seth were in the academy together. So, and I thought I heard one time he was a deputy sheriff.
Tit for tat. You do this, we'll go swimming. My son, 2 things he needed to do: clean up his room and make his bed, and then I was going to take him swimming. Tit for tat. You do this, we'll go swimming. My son likes to go swimming, so let's make the bed, clean up your toys, get them all off the floor, and we can go swimming. Like 4 or 5 hours had gone by. I kept checking on him. He wasn't doing it. I was reminding him. And then I go back downstairs. At that point in time, I was really big into computer games. So I'd play computer games, turn around, wait 30, 45 minutes, go back upstairs and check on him again. It's just me and him in the house. And he's upstairs. The last time he's upstairs, I walk up there. There's not a single toy in any of his beds. They are all over the floor. Now, there's Legos, there's building blocks, Hot Wheels, action figures, everything all over the floor. My son is also stripped his entire bed of blanket, sheets, comforter, even the fitted sheet for underneath there, and his pillowcase is off of his pillow, and he's butt ass naked playing on the Wii. I saw this and I was like, okay, walk to my room, put on my swimming trunks, grab my beach towel. You're not going to clean up your room. You're not going to make your bed. You're not going to get to go swimming. And I was going to prove the point. I went and got ready to go swimming. And he saw me walk by his room in my swimming trunks and my beach towel. And he was like, I want to go swimming. And I stopped and I turned. I looked at him. I looked at the floor. I looked at his bed. I was like, none of your toys are picked up. None of your bed is stripped completely. And you're butt ass naked playing video games. And he went to throw a fit and came across the floor, stomping his feet. And he stomped on a Hot Wheel. And he lost his balance. And I put my hand on the door frame. And his head hit my hand instead of the door frame.